I am extremely bullish on Solana. The chart looks absolutely primed for higher targets, and I do think that Solana could be ready for a brand new all-time highs. In today's video, I'll explain my trading ideas on Solana to you guys. When we look at the current hour 4 chart on Solana, we can see that the price of Solana is currently potentially breaking out of a major reaccumulation range right over here, in which we had the range high area over here and we had a range low area right over here for the price of Solana. We can see that this reaccumulation range was taking place after this massive move towards the downside after Solana first put in a brand new all-time high over here at the top. Now we can clearly see the signs of reaccumulation. A first smaller deviation over here being followed up by a second bigger deviation right there. Afterwards, we saw a retest of the range high, followed by a retest of the range low, and then price pushed towards the range high again. And now this is where things became very, very interesting to me, because what we can see is that before the breakout occurred, the price of Solana was forming an interesting structure. Why? Because the first breakout over here turned out to be a fake out. And now this is exactly the kind of bullish behavior that you want to see, because many people are FOMOing into long and breakout positions over here on that first breakout. Now what you can see is that those long and buy positions are being trapped over here. And all those long and buy positions, they need a low to cover their stop loss. So if I open up a breakout long position on Solana right here, where am I looking to place my stop? Somewhere back inside of the range beneath the lows over here. So what can we see is that Solana indeed went for that internal liquidity right here. It took out that internal liquidity, followed by a bullish reversal structure over here, and then price saw a second breakout. And now that second breakout, after this local bullish reversal structure and after smart money had the time to fill all of their buy and long positions over here, this is where I'm slowly becoming interested in longs on Solana. Now, when I quickly remove my drawings from the chart, we can see that if I zoom in even more, that the structure that we saw before that second breakout was even more interesting. Because what we can see is that the price of Solana saw this slow grind towards the upside over here. And whoops, you don't want your portfolio to drop like that. So make sure to like and subscribe, and let's keep things steady. And then it saw a push to the downside before it got the actual breakout, meaning that the push to the downside swept a lot of sales and liquidity once again. And this is what we call my favorite continuation structure. I made a video on this and I will leave a link to this video in the description down below. But forming this continuation structure right before the breakout on Solana is a major bullish sign. So we can see that afterwards we saw a very aggressive bullish impulse towards the upside, giving us a high probability market structure break. And this was the moment where I slowly became interested in potential longs on Solana, knowing that the invalidation for my bullish thesis could be found back inside the range this time. We swept a lot of internal liquidity back inside of the range over here, and now upon that second reclaim of that range high in confluence with the market structure break right over here, we can see that we are now looking at a potential high probability actual bullish breakout. So afterwards we can see that Solana started a local downtrend over here towards the downside. That local downtrend led into a bullish retest of this range high. And now, because it was the second attempt to a breakout, this bullish range high retest over here was supposed to hold. So we started looking for local confirmations, and we could see that the price of Solana saw a market structure break towards the upside right there. So I started longing the pullback. As you guys know, if you are part of the VIP channel, I am already positioned in a major swing long position on Solana exactly like this. And guys, as always, I'm sharing these trade signals in my community upfront with the exact entry and stop loss and take profit targets way before the entries even got hit. Many of you guys ask me where I'm sharing my trading signals, my education, my live streams and whatnot. In Tribe Capital is the exact place where I'm sharing all of this. And you guys can now get access for 14 days to test us out for just $1. All that you guys have to do is follow the first link in the description down below, and I'll catch you guys in the tribe. But many of you guys are now probably wondering, okay, Yip, this is all nice and that, but I am not positioned long on Solana, so what should I do? The good thing is that my target hasn't been hit yet by a long mile, because my target is the 50% wick fill level of this major wick that we can see on the daily time frame. So when Solana topped out at the previous all-time high over here, we can see that the daily candle on the 19th of January formed a major wick towards the upside. And we know that these wicks are a major draw on liquidity and that they tend to get filled at least for 50%. We can also see that if I go to the 4-hourly time frame and I go back to that wick, is that right beneath that 50% wick fill level is where we have a lot of liquidity resting above this high, above this high, and also above this high right over here, meaning that we have a major buy-side liquidity pool resting around $270 for Solana, meaning that the top is by far not in yet, and you can still start looking for bullish confirmations. Now, what I personally would be looking at in order to hop into a brand new long position on Solana is that when we look at the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that Solana was also slow grinding towards the upside over here with one sweep and a second sweep. A lot of longs once again got trapped at the top, and we can see with an aggressive impulse towards the downside that happened right afterwards, they got squeezed out, meaning that a lot of longs got wrecked. We can see that while those longs were getting wrecked, the price of Solana also pushed back into this demand area. It held the demand and saw another impulse towards the upside. While getting that impulse towards the upside, the price of Solana was also pushing above this previous bearish displacement. So a lot of signs of strength already by the bulls. Now, in order to get another bullish long trigger and to see potential continuation towards $270 for Solana, what I would be waiting for is to get a push above this high over here, because this is that significant high to break that brought us to this lower low over here compared to this low and this low that brought us to that higher high. Meaning that if we open and close candles on the 4-hourly time frame above this high, you can then start playing the higher low over here, targeting indeed $270 for Solana. Now that is a major target, but it's a valid continuation structure once again with as a target $270. So as soon as you get that candle open and candle close on the 4-hourly time frame above that significant high that I just marked out, you simply want to position yourself during the pullback targeting $279 even with your invalidation beneath the low right over here, targeting higher levels. Now what is in confluence with this idea, guys, is the fact that over here in the 4-hourly time frame, we can also see that Solana is forming some kind of a rising wedge pattern. At least that's what a lot of people are looking at. But I'm actually looking to counter trade this, because where a lot of people are looking to short this higher high trend line over here, I'm actually looking for a potential reclaim of that higher high trend line, a bullish retest, and then an impulse towards $270. And this aligns with that high to break that we just discussed right over here. So if we break that high, open and close candles above that high on the 4-hourly time frame, and then also reclaim this higher high trend line of that rising wedge pattern, that's a major bullish trigger on Solana, and you can then start looking for long positions on Solana with your invalidation beneath that low, targeting $270 and beyond. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to smash up the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and then I'll catch you guys on the next one. Ciao, ciao!